very special guest joining me today, Satya Nadella. Good to have you back on the channel and great seeing you here in India. Let me start by asking you about Microsoft's plans for India in the coming decade in terms of strategic importance, in terms of investments, hiring, innovation. Draw out the roadmap for me for India.
Yeah, first of all, Srini, it's great to be back in India. And, you know, India is very important to us. I mean, let's start with sort of the human capital we have. Next to sort of Seattle and the Redmond area, the number of engineers we have in India is the second biggest center. So we're very excited about how India is contributing to Microsoft worldwide. But India as a market is changing radically. In fact, if you sort of look back at the last 10 years, the penetration of mobile and cloud has made it possible, I think, for the next 10 years to perhaps be the time when every small business to large business is being transformed by technology. Even this morning, when I was talking, you know, from Pyramid Glass to what Reliance is doing across the board, or what Apollo Hospitals has in fact built out a new model for cardiac issues, which is using Indian data to benefit the South Asian population worldwide. These are all amazing examples of, I think, how technology can make broad sectoral progress around economic growth and productivity.
You know, you spoke about the importance of India from a human capital perspective, but given the potential of the Indian economy, as well as the way that you're seeing this play out from a digital transformation perspective, what is it going to mean in terms of revenues for Microsoft?
First of all, I think we will be only successful if India is successful. In fact, one of the things that is super important to recognize in our business model is we will do well in India if India, Inc., all the way from small business to large business does well. Because that's the fundamental thing. If digital technology is going to lead to local surplus, right, when hospitals are becoming better at delivering healthcare with lower costs, when energy companies are becoming more efficient in making the world, you know, India more sustainable, when retail companies here are going to be competitive, in fact, versus multinationals coming in, that's when we will succeed. So our goal is to, in fact, commoditize digital technology, if anything. It's not profit for profit's sake, it's profit ultimately coming from India, Inc. being successful.
You know, in terms of regulatory disruption or regulatory headwinds, how much of a concern is the data localization aspect in India, and globally the fact that we are possibly going to see a digital tax coming in at the end of this calendar year? Will that be a disruptive force as well? I
mean, one of the things that, you know, we should fully expect, and in fact, take privacy. Privacy is a human right. I mean, you know, coming out of the European Union and GDPR, we effectively have regulation already, which is now going to be everywhere. Even in India, we are going to take the same approach, which is when we took even GDPR regulation, we didn't just do this for Europe. In fact, we took the subject rights and made it available worldwide. So we are going to fully conform to the laws. Already our investments we have made in our data center footprint with local data residency is a step in that direction. So I fully expect us to obviously both have more regulation, whether it's around privacy, whether it's around ethics in AI, and even on taxation. You mentioned, you know, we are going to, you know, the fundamental construct I believe in is in every country you operate in, you pay taxes.
Or you should.
And you should, and that's what we do. In fact, we've already changed, and in fact, I'm very encouraged by even what OECD is trying to get done, which is to come up with some consistent rules that are worldwide rules, and a tax reform that happens where we have, you know, I would say certainty, consistency, simplicity. But we fully expect to be paying taxes everywhere we operate.
You know, I want to pick up on something that you mentioned in your talk, and you said that, you know, you're in the process of trying to democratize technology, but that sort of flies in the face of conventional wisdom with the tech companies saying that, look, we want everybody else to build their own tech intensity. The logic would have been that come to us because we're the most capable and we're going to help you build it out. So how does that sort of work for you, and how do you see this playing itself out?
In fact, that is, I think, going to be the key distinction. If you sort of believe that every company going forward in every industry, irrespective of size, is going to be a software company or a digital company, you have to believe in somehow democratizing digital technology and making it a real factor of production. So a healthcare company will have software engineers. In fact, the interesting thing is, even in India as we speak, 70+% of the software engineering jobs are already outside of what is considered the tech industry. So if anything, our job as a platform company is to make those software engineers working across all the industries in India more productive, more successful in using digital to change their own core business, right? How can they deliver better healthcare? How can the energy company be more efficient?
Yeah.
Public sector
Yeah.
be more, efficient. That's really our core goal.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
Satya.
so
Appreciate
much.
it.
I
Thank
really
you so
take it.
much.